This is the Hoops and Dreams QPR podcast, and this is episode 11. As always, we will briefly cover the last few games before predicting the ones coming up, and then hopefully getting into some topics that I feel are relevant. To help me with all of this, on this episode, I welcome back Joe. How are you, Joe?
Hi, Brian. I'm all good. Good to see
Good,
you.
good.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we've got a lot to get through, I think, in terms of volume
Yeah.
or quantity. Let's get straight into the review of the last four league matches. And for those who can't remember, QPR against Rotherham was the first one. We won that 2-1. Leicester against QPR, we won that 2-1. And then we had the draw against West Bromwich Albion on the 6th of March. That was a midweek one. And that was followed up by last Saturday's loss against Middlesbrough, and that was 2-0. So that gave us 7 points out of possible 12. Our league position then dropped to 20th, and we're on 39 points still. So, Joe, can I ask you for a quick summary of the R's fortune in these four games?
Well, I thought the Rotherham performance was one of those where it didn't matter how we got across the line, so long as we got across the line, we that was the most important thing. I can think of games like the Stoke game in 2012, where where we had sort of similar performances. We were just there and we just got enough in the game to win it. Um, I think that's the most crucial result out of all of them. I think if you're losing at home to Rotherham, you're absolutely doomed. The Leicester performance was a real turn up, wasn't it? I mean, I don't expect anyone thought we were going to go there and get a result at all.
No.
Um, Sort of a smash and grab, very much as well, backs to the wall performance. But for the 3,000 fans that went, that must have been one of the highlights of the season, because it's been quite a miserable campaign, and to see us win there, and effectively I know that they lost a couple. Did they lose? They lost to Leeds before, didn't they? They played
Yeah,
us.
yeah. They're
But
having a mixed bag at the
we seem
moment.
to have, we seem to have derailed their season a little bit, and I personally think Leeds are going to pip them to the title now. But
Mm.
um, it's been that sort of catalyzed the performances going into the next two games. I thought the West Brom game was the game of the season for us this season. I went to that game, and there was a consensus around me that, with the people sitting in the upper loft, that this was an absolutely fantastic game of football. And how we never walked away with a win, I have no idea. I've never seen a
True.
performance where we've dominated in terms of territory as much as we did, corner after corner. You would have thought, though, that with the amount of corners that we've seen in that game, and then the subsequent game against Middlesbrough, that someone would do some work on the training ground, because it has been years since it's been a common theme for years, where whether it's Ilias Chair crossing the ball, Kenneth Powell, and now Lucas Anderson, the corners remain incredibly poor, and you're losing a big threat at goal from there. Whether it's Dykes attacking the ball, Frey attacking the ball, even Clark sort of coming in at the back post. I know we're not a massive team, but we do have assets in the box who can attack the ball and get us goals. And it feels like if we're not clogging into that, then we might look back at this at the end of the season and think that was an avenue lost for goals.
Yeah. All right. Before I start, can I say a quick hello to Paul and Jake, who sat alongside me on the Central Line train on Saturday when we tried to console each other. Good luck, Jake, with your QPR trial. Hope it goes well. Yeah, the results really of those four have been both promising and frustrating. Some may
Yeah.
say typically to QPR, really. We beat Leicester away, as you said, drew against the Baggies midweek at home. We're not normally that good on midweek games, and beat a determined Rotherham. But then produced a completely lackluster finish against a Borough side that really were up for nothing. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, I
That's the
was,
result.
yes,
That's the result that's the result that worries me a bit. Looking at the fixtures, I know we'll get onto them in a second, but I think 5 wins guarantees safety. 4 wins may well be enough.
mm,
If we keep up the form of two sevens, we're going to end up with 53.7 from 12. We're going to end up with 53 points, which I think will be enough as well. But that Middlesbrough one worries me because I look at the home games that we've got left, and I'm thinking if we're not winning games like that, we're going to be in trouble, particularly with Birmingham having 6 of their last 9 at home.
Yeah, I, I think I'm going to echo that with what I'm going to say because um, if we take the Rotherham game as an example, we had 65% possession. Possession doesn't count for everything, of course. We had 18 shots, of which nine, half of them, were on target. We had 9 corners to their none, and 9 fouls against the 17 that Rotherham were dishing out. And that was actually generous to them. Um, this indicates a level of control and attacking that we can produce, but we don't do on a regular basis. It's not Dave Sexton's total football by any means, but it's certainly entertaining. And now that the squad seems to understand what Marty Cifuentes wants, it's also effective. Whilst that indicates the pressure that we can maintain against our opponents, the fact that against West Brom we had 19 corners and still failed to score is beyond poor, as you said. It beggars belief, quite honestly. So we do. You've got to fear what's coming up. I think when we get on to discuss this later on, I think this will become apparent. Anyway, let's get on to the 4 fixtures that we've got coming up. First one is Sunderland against QPR on Saturday the 16th. So we've had a week off. They've had a losing streak, 5 losses on the run. They are 11th, though, on 47 points, not like us. So, Joe, win, draw, or lose?
I mean, I can't imagine Sunderland losing another game. This is another thing. You sort of think, how long can this rot go on for? And I don't know. I'll say a draw because I think Sunderland will break. I don't see Sunderland losing this game. I can't imagine they like that. I can't imagine they go another game without a win.
Okay.
So I'll say a 1-1 draw.
Oh, okay, okay. QPR against Birmingham. That's a Good Friday game. They are 21st at the moment, sitting just below us, aren't they? That's right. Win, draw, loss.
I'm gonna say a win.
Okay,
Uh,
that was easy.
yep.
Okay, what about Swansea against QPR, which is on the bank holiday Monday?
We're away for that fixture, aren't
We
we? Yeah,
are.
we are. Yeah, I think we'll lose that. I think
Yeah,
we'll lose
okay.
that.
Being at home to fellow strugglers Birmingham, I feel we've got to expect a win for that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unlike you, I'm going for a win at Sunderland as well. I'm hoping that they continue their excellent streak. Um, they are on a poor run, so let's make the most of it. But I do feel like you that Swansea will beat us, so I've got that one down as a loss.
I
Uh,
don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be an interesting game. I thought their game against Bristol City at the weekend was one of the worst
yeah,
adverts in the Championship this season. It was a terrible game, but it's travelling again in short space of time between the games as well. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that one.
no, we don't travel that well. Actually, we don't travel that well at home either.
Exactly.
I I know that the preview podcast has covered the death of Stan Bowles, but I also know that there can't be enough mentions of someone who was both a legend on the pitch and off it. On Saturday, outside the main entrance in South Africa Road, there was some great floral tributes to a unique talent, which actually brought a lump to my throat, which quite surprised me. Joe, would you like to say more?
Well, obviously, at my age, I'm a bit unqualified to talk about Stan. So, I messaged my dad. My dad's 71 at the end of the month, which I should whisper quietly. But I asked him for his thoughts, and he said to me, "As you know, Rodney is and always will be my favourite QPR player, but Stan comes in a close second. On the
Mm,
day Marsh's departure was announced, I was heartbroken and in tears. After all, he was my childhood hero and the reason I fell in love with the club. But then this man called Stan came along, and the pain of a Rodney-less Rangers soon healed. A natural who played without a care in the world, He was tremendously brave and scared of no defender, despite this being the era of kicking lumps out of each other. I have many memories of his performances in matches, the goal away to Wolves, the last minute free kick against Coventry, and the goals in Europe. But what set him apart was his character and personality. A maverick in the truest sense, you could be entertained for hours with stories of Stan's escapades, but he always had time for supporters. He was no big time Charlie. And whilst living in Norfolk, I used to drink in the Target pub with the likes of Mike Ferguson, John Beck, John Delve, and others.
I
And
know the target.
Stan would often be found upstairs with Frank, the landlord, playing cards as if he was just an ordinary bloke. I've never forgiven Tommy Docherty for selling him to Forest and depriving us of the chance to watch him and Tony Curry in the same team together. Imagine how good of that would have been for seasons. For me, his legacy is best summed up as Stan the man, a great footballer who put a smile on your face. And that, I think, is what football and life are all about. I feel sorry for those like yourself, Joe, who never got to see him play. Adele is probably the nearest you will have and perhaps will ever see. So I'll leave on this. Thanks for the memory, Stan, both on and off the pitch. My life is all the better for having seen you play. And like many Rangers fans, I count myself extremely lucky to have witnessed both you and Rodney play. All my love, Dad. So that was my
Yeah.
dad's thoughts.
Well,
Now,
that's good.
my dad was in his early 20s in that 75, 76 team, and he went pretty much home and away for the whole season. And he's never forgiven Norwich either for the result at the end of the season. Even now, we used to have a postman who was a Norwich fan, and every time he used to deliver post, he'd get stick off my dad for them. And I don't even think the postman had been born in 75, 76. My dad still gave him stick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think your dad summed it up pretty damn well. Yeah. As I said, he's a legend.
Yeah.
And as you said, a maverick, both on the pitch and off the pitch, 100% that way. That I don't think there'll ever be anybody quite like him.
No, not anymore. I don't think the game allows for it either.
No, no, probably wouldn't. All right, let's leave Stan. It's a sad moment, but I've got to look back on his greatness, I think, as much as anything else, and try and remember that. Uh,
If
let's
the
get on to our
ITV,
second topic, if we may.
yep,
The elephant in the room that is still here is called relegation, and our next topic examines our current position and performances, along with those of the teams around us, so we can try and determine our future in the championship. In front of both of us, we've got a list of the games to be played by each side at risk. And I'm going to
yep.
ask Joe which he feels, on paper at least, has the easiest run in, which has the hardest. I mean, we could go through all these and sort of say, but I mean, basically, let's start at the top. 15th Swansea, they're on 43 points. They're not playing anybody in the top five with their remaining games, but six of them are against fellow relegation battlers. So you've got to sort of say, well, I think Swansea are out of it. Would you say?
Maybe two more wins for them, I think, and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, I think if those wins though haven't come by the time they play Middlesbrough away, I think they'll be looking over their shoulders.
Do you,
But
do you
I
think it's going to
expect
be as low as 49 points then, Joe, for
no,
safety?
no, I think it'd be higher than that.
Hmm.
But I think if they can get 49, they can definitely get two or three through draws.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I think it might be 52, 51, 52. I think if you
All
get
right.
50,
Okay. This is going to be
if you
interesting
get
because I think it's going to be higher than that,
right,
sadly.
okay.
All right. So you reckon Swansea is safe. Next one down we've got is Millwall they're 16th at the moment on 43 points. So again, it's let's not forget we're on 39. They're playing three of the top five in their remaining matches. That's Leeds, West Brom, and Leicester. But they're also playing four of the relegation sides: Rotherham, Huddersfield, Plymouth, and Swansea. So that's three from the top five and four from fellow relegation battlers. So what do you reckon for Millwall? They're on a bit of a run at the moment.
Yeah, I think Millwall will be fine. Um, the reason for that is because West Brom and Leicester are both home games, and I think Neil Harris will keep the game as
Yeah.
tight as possible. I don't look at any of those teams and think they're going to lose a game 3-4-0. I think there's going to be small swings in each game, and I think that favours a team towards the bottom of the table, because if they can keep themselves in a game, they'll pick up wins here and there with a 1-0 win. And I look at that West Brom home game and think to myself that that's the type of game that Neil Harris will keep tight, and there'll be a late winner in it. But I do think Millwall will be fine. I don't think their fixtures are particularly unkind, and I think he has started to get a tune again out of ZM Fleming, which I
Yeah,
think puts Millwall in a good position. Like his form at the start of the season, after the move to Burnley failed, I think is a big factor in why they're where they are at the minute.
yeah. Somebody today on the Hoops and Dreams forum, quick plug there, said that Neil Harris is the new Neil Warnock, and in a way, that's sort of true. I can see where
No,
they're coming from with that.
absolutely. The thing
Okay,
is,
next one up, 17th is Plymouth. They're on 41 points, so they're only just above us, 2 points above us. They're only playing two of the top five sides, and again, four fellow relegation battlers. They're playing against Rotherham, QPR, Stoke, and Millwall. I think they've got us on April the 9th. Yes, they have. What do you reckon for that? Plymouth?
so I said Plymouth at the start of the season would go down because I didn't think across 46 games they would have enough. I did expect them to win sporadically across the season and there'd be results that would catch people's eye, but I didn't think over 46 games. I would say they're one of the prime contenders for relegation, simply because their home form has completely dived off and they've been atrocious away all season. Um, but they've got goals in them. Whitaker, particularly. I don't think their next four, they'll be looking at their next five and thinking every single one of those is winnable. I know Norwich are on a bit of a run themselves, but I don't think Norwich are a fantastic team.
No.
Uh, right now, I would say Plymouth maybe just finished just outside of it. They're the team that finished maybe 21st for me. So I'll say they won't go down at this point, but I would say they're the one that everyone needs to be looking at and thinking we need to catch them. If we
Okay.
can finish above them, we're safe.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything at this stage. I'll save that to the summary at the end. 18th and Blackburn. They're also on 41 points. So they've got, amazing
They've
enough,
got
they've got four
horrible.
from the top five to
Yeah, they're
play, and
horrible.
only one relegation one, which is Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday are playing very well. So, I, well, I reckon this is quite a tough set of fixtures for them. What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, it's a terrible run. That is a really. I didn't. I must admit, I've sort of glossed over Blackburn, thinking, oh, that they've got Schmodics, they've got goals, they'll be absolutely fine. And there's a lot of players in the Blackburn team I like, but wow, that's a horrendous run. They're another one then that, yeah, Blackburn and Plymouth on 41. If you're looking at both of them, thinking if I can reel one of them two teams in closer
Right.
down the table,
Hang
but
on that thought. Okay, 19th is Stoke, also on 41 points. They're only playing two from the top five, but they've got four relegation battlers in amongst there. They're playing Huddersfield, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday again, and Plymouth. Um, so, so what do you reckon for Stoke?
Stoke are another one where you just don't know, do you? Um, I think they might get a result at home to Norwich at the weekend.
Could do.
That'll put them on 44. Yeah, I think Stoke might be okay too. I think I can see Stoke getting at least 3 wins there. That would take them to 50. So yeah, I'll say Stoke will be fine as well,
Okay.
which is disappointing because the way that they've been run over the last few years of just throw money, throw money, throw money, throw money. I'd quite be quite happy if Stoke went down, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I can understand why as well. That brings us around to number 20, which just happens to be QPR, and they're on 39 points. Yes, that was my feeling as well. Should I do this one now? They've got two top fivers and four relegation battlers. Seems to be fairly common this. And the ones that we should be worrying about: Birmingham, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday yet again, Plymouth, as we said. Um, And the ones at the top are two quite tough ones, Preston and Leeds. So, okay, go for it, Joe.
I think we have to be safe by the time we play Plymouth away. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
That's true. I can't argue with that.
Because Hull, I think Hull will finish in the playoffs. Um, Hull, Preston, Leeds, Coventry are an atrocious last four fixtures. I think Preston is winnable at home because I don't think that then of the teams competing for the playoffs, they're the least emphatic team. They're the least likely to blow you away in a home fixture, and that is a winnable fixture. But the other three, but Hull away, you know, when do we win at Hull? Very rarely. Leeds at home. I mean, it'd be a feisty game, but Leeds are they're an adult team now. They've got an
Yeah.
adult in the room in Daniel Farker. So
Mhm. And
the last
Coventry.
and Coventry are very dangerous team. Mark Robins
Mhm.
is one of the best managers around, and away from home, I think we'll take a big following again. But I don't see us necessarily getting a result there. I'll ask you, Brian, how many wins do you think we're going to get between now and then?
Well, if you remember, I said we'd win at Sunderland,
Yeah.
win with Birmingham, and lose with Swansea. So
So
that's
do you
only
think?
two. So then that means we've got to win at Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth before, as you quite
Or
rightly point out, we start climbing the stairs.
yeah, or if
Because
we get
the next four are tough. I mean, we may possibly get a drawer with Preston. Um,
we
and
could
it'd
get a
be
draw.
marvelous to get one with Leeds, but it ain't going to happen, I don't think.
No.
So yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think probably the maximum that we're going to get is four wins, and that's
So
only 12 points.
if
Hmm.
we get 4 wins, we said at the start that might be enough. So
I
let's
don't
say
know.
we'll get 4 wins, but I don't think I'm not optimistic.
I do
That's
not
why I
like
think
the idea of us doing this the hard way, mate. I don't at
I thought
all.
that Middlesbrough game was a must win on Saturday.
It
They
was. No, I totally agree. Okay, let's quickly move on to 21st Birmingham. They're on 39 points as well. They've got three from the top five and three fellow relegation battlers, so it's a mixture. The ones at the top five, they've got Watford, Preston, Leicester. They're all tough ones. I mean, you know, every Watford player is going to fall over because they have trouble standing up, especially in the penalty area. And Leicester complain to everything but the referee. So that and the strugglers that they've got, and I include us in this. We got QPR, Rotherham, and Huddersfield. I think it's tough for Birmingham. I'll be honest with you. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it is, but I do think 6 home games means out of 9 means you can at least create a mentality of this is us against everything now.
Siege mentality. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I look at their games. I think Watford and Middlesbrough at home are 2 winnable games. I think Cardiff. I don't think Cardiff aren't a superb team, and I think the playoffs could potentially have run away from them by that point.
Yeah.
Rotherham Rotherham away is winnable. Huddersfield away is a dangerous game, I think, for them because I don't think Huddersfield are terrible. Um, but I still think Birmingham will probably have a will they? Will they though? They need let's have a look. 42, 45. I can see Birmingham getting to 50 points. Um, but I would quite like Birmingham to go down because I don't I don't agree with the Wayne Rooney appointment. It's the second time that the club have done something like that where they've ruined a good thing. Um, and I think the gods of football should punish you for that. So I would like to see Birmingham go down, but I do think you're going to have to get 51 points if you're going to finish above them.
And that was Joe Perry speaking with his heart. Right. Okay. I'm not going to, again, I'm not going to argue with you on that because I thought that they've been very poor up to now. Okay. That brings us round to, gosh, 22nd, and that's Huddersfield by chance. Also, no, sorry, they're on 38 points and they've got two from the top five and five fellow relegation battlers. So they're really in the mix there. The two that they're playing from the top five are Preston and Ipswich, both tricky ones, I reckon.
Yeah.
What do you reckon for this one, Joe?
I will relegate Huddersfield
Okay, don't mess
because
about. Don't sit on the
no,
fence. No.
Huddersfield have won 8 games from 37. And
Yeah.
if we're saying that they need that we're looking at 51, 52, 53 points, they're then going to need to win 5 from 9. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big, big ask. I know that they've got 5 teams around them that they're playing. They would have to win every single one of those. They can't afford a slip. Um, and I don't think that they will do that. I think they'll fall short. They've looked good in parts. I thought they were okay against Leeds, at least until the Hog red card. And at the weekend, I saw the first half of them against West Brom, and they were pretty good in that as well. And you're looking at that thinking, okay, maybe they're alive here. But West Brom absolutely demolished them second half, and I don't think Huddersfield's defence is enough to be able to keep them up either. I don't think there'll be enough clean sheets in them. So I do think Huddersfield will join Rotherham
Okay.
as one of the.
Okay. I'm going to again save my for my summary. 23rd, Sheffield Wednesday, also on 38 points. Well, we all know about the points deductions and everything that's hit them. They are playing only one from the top. That's West Brom, the Baggies. And they've got four fellow relegation battlers that they are going for, one of which is us, Stoke, Blackburn, and Sunderland. Sorry, no, sorry, Swansea, QPR, Stoke, and Blackburn. Get it right. Um, so what do you reckon for them? I mean, they are on a roll.
I think Wednesday get out of it.
Okay.
I've thought that for a few weeks now. There's some experienced heads in that team that I think will help nurture the young talent that's there. You're not going to want to go to Hillsborough at this stage of the season either. So if you're Swansea, if you're Stoke, you're looking at that and worrying. Um, and I think that they've got enough players at the top end of the pitch, be they young players or be they more experienced ones, to hurt teams away from home. I think their fixture list is the kindest, but then again, they have to beat the teams that they're playing around them. But I think Sheffield Wednesday will get out of it. Yeah, I do.
Okay, that brings us round to the last in the relegation battle. Sitting on 24th, we've got Rotherham, and to put this into perspective, they're on 19 points. That's half of what Sheffield Wednesday's got. Uh, they have also got two from the top five and five relegation battlers as well. So the two ones at the top, they've got Preston and West Brom, possible point there, I think. But they've also got Huddersfield, Millwall, Plymouth, Swansea, and Birmingham. So these are all sides that are going to be fighting like mad as well. So what do you reckon?
Well, Rotherham could be relegated. I think Rotherham are gone. I think there's a consensus there. But I do think they could be a dangerous team because once they're down, we've seen this before in divisions. The teams play with a freedom that there's no consequence to their game, and also there'll be players that are playing for contracts for next season. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rotherham flip an upset along the way. Say the home game to Plymouth, maybe the home game to Birmingham, and even the home one at Huddersfield. I don't see them causing too many teams trouble away from home, but
Mm,
I do think it's inconceivable that Rotherham don't go from now until the end of the season without winning the game. I think they will win at least one. Um, it's just where, but I think there are 3 or 4 winnable home games in there, and like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if they sprung a surprise themselves. They'd be a coupon buster, but it has the potential to happen. I think personally, it could happen against Huddersfield, and the two teams that I think will go down will be the ones that Rotherham caused a problem against. But no, I can see Rotherham maybe getting 4 or 5 points from now to the end of the season. I think if they got relegated on 19 points, I don't think it's a good look for the Championship either. Um, I feel a
no,
bit sorry. I feel a bit sorry for them because their squad is obviously weak. The budget that they run on is meager compared to the other teams around them. But yeah, weirdly, they could have a big say in this relegation battle, even by already being down them effectively themselves.
yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I'll do a quick summary from my perspective. It's probably not going to be that much different from yours. Um, QPR have currently got 39 points, and I feel they may need as much as 55 to survive.
Okay.
That that's another 16 points from our 9 remaining fixtures. It's asking a lot. In theory, we cannot expect much from the top 5 clashes against Preston and Leeds. So that means we'll have to grab wins from fellow relegation battlers, plus Coventry and Swansea. 9 draws would equal 48 points. 9 wins would be 66 points, but let's not get carried away with that. I suspect we'll end up somewhere around 55 points, or maybe just below that. Which brings us round to the big question. Based upon current form and fixtures remaining, which clubs are likely to fill the bottom 3 at the end of the season? There are many factors that come into this, including, I think, as we've already mentioned, current momentum, whether you prefer playing top sides as against relegation battlers, which is what QPR seems to do, the state of your injury list, the fixture list on paper, and perhaps whether players already regard their club perhaps as a lost cause. On paper, Rotherham looks beyond salvation at the bottom of the table, only half the points of the club above, as I mentioned, especially if they're playing 5 other relegation candidates who are battling for survival. So just above them is Sheffield Wednesday. They're on 38, but they are in good form. And I feel that they will survive as well. I agree with you on this. Huddersfield, by comparison with Sheffield Wednesday, they're not getting good results and they've got a tougher fixture list. I feel they'll end up as 23rd in the Championship. I really do. And that leaves that final relegation slot. And I've already suggested it might be Sheffield Wednesday, but there are other candidates too: Birmingham, Blackburn, QPR, Stoke, Plymouth. This is really open. It really is. On paper, the fixture list does not favour Blackburn, and neither does their momentum at the moment. Birmingham are also showing very poor form at the moment, and they've got a mixed fixture list. Stoke are showing signs of form, but who knows? Plymouth have shown mixed form recently, and they could well falter at the hurdles ahead. You know, as you said, they have problems with travel. They really do. And that leads us on to QPR, whose form suggests momentum, and they have a mixed fixture list as well. If I had to bet Mick Beale's life on it, I would suggest that the 3rd relegation slot is between Sheffield Wednesday, Blackburn, and Plymouth. But, and it's a big but, form and fixtures are not everything, and QPR's lack of goals in open play, and more importantly from dead balls, may well drag us into the mire. I think we're just going to have to do a fair amount of praying. I just have that feeling. One final thought on this, Joe, if you don't mind me asking. Do you think we're ever going to, sorry, with the way things are going, do you think it's too late now for anybody to change their manager?
I think so. I think given that every single team, if I'm right, within that mix has changed manager between now already this season. I don't see it happening again. I mean, the team that would maybe, I mean, you're looking at who's going to panic, really. There is a team that's going to panic, maybe Blackburn, but I think I don't see Eustace being sacked there.
No.
Though I don't see him as a long term project at Blackburn. But no, I don't see any of them changing from now until the end of the season. I think a lot of them will be, they look going into next season. A lot of them will be happy with the manager that they've got. So there may be teams that are willing to take the hit in.
It's going to be a dog eat dog, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to be pretty.
No, not at all.
Okay, well, I think we've done all we possibly can to put the relegation elephant back in the cupboard, but I think this is going to be a tough few weeks for QPR fans, and I think it's going to be a lot of time spent on the prayer mats.
Absolutely.
Okay, that brings us to the end of episode 10. So can I quickly thank my guest, Joe? And you can see why Joe was on here, because of his knowledge. And thank you very much for your contributions, Joe. They're much appreciated.
Thanks for having me again.
No, and as ever, can I thank editor Dave for all he does behind the scenes? and all of you for watching. Do click on subscribe if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, and add comments below. As you know, we try and add some replies to you whenever we can. Let us know if you agree with Joe and I about the players to keep, the teams that are going to be kept up and those that are going to go down. I think this is one that's going to be unfolding over the next few weeks. I'm Brian Fisher, and this has been a Hoops and Dreams QPR podcast. See you all again at the next game. Come on, you R's.
Was.
We know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.